Welcome to my channel Valuable Coins, All World. If you've ever wondered if those old coins you have lying around could be worth a fortune, you're in the right place. In today's video, we're diving into some of the rarest US coins, revealing their jaw-dropping values that will leave you amazed. Stick with us till the end. You won't want to miss what these hidden treasures could be worth. Let's get started. Top 1. Have you ever held a simple coin in your hand and wondered if it could be worth more than just 25 cents? What if I told you that a coin you might overlook could actually be worth a small fortune? Welcome back to the channel, where today we dive deep into the incredible story of the 1965 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that seems ordinary at first glance but hides a rare and fascinating secret. This story might just have you checking your change a little more closely. To understand the hidden value of the 1965 Washington quarter, we need to take a step back in time. Picture this. It's the mid-1960s, and the United States is going through major changes, not just in culture and politics, but in the world of coinage as well. Up until 1964, quarters were made of 90% silver. These silver coins were not only valuable for their face value, but also for the metal they contained. However, rising silver prices forced the U.S. Mint to take action. The government made a monumental decision to change the composition of coins. Starting in 1965, quarters were no longer made of silver. Instead, they were struck from a copper-nickel-clad material, a move that was supposed to make coins more practical and cost-effective. And that's where the story gets interesting. You see, while millions of these new copper-nickel quarters were being produced in 1965, a few silver planchets, leftover metal discs meant for 1,964 coins, accidentally slipped into the presses. These planchets made their way through the minting process, resulting in a very small number of 1,965 quarters that were struck on silver instead of the intended copper-nickel. This wasn't intentional. It was a rare minting error, but one that would change the value of those few coins forever. Imagine finding one of those coins today. It looks like any other quarter. You could pass it in a vending machine or use it at the grocery store. But it's anything but ordinary. It's a treasure, and people in the numismatic world, that is, coin collectors, know it. These error coins have become legendary among collectors, who dream of finding one in circulation. And here's the most exciting part. The value of this coin doesn't just come from its rarity, but also from the intense competition among collectors to own a piece of coin history. Now, before you rush off to check your piggy bank, let's talk about how to identify one of these rare 1965 silver quarters. The key is in the weight and the sound. A regular 1965 clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams, while the silver version weighs slightly more, around 6.25 grams. It may not seem like a big difference, but to a trained eye, or even a digital scale, it's noticeable. Also, the sound a silver quarter makes when dropped is distinctly different. Silver coins ring with a higher-pitched, more musical tone compared to the dull clink of a clad coin. Another tip is to look at the coin's edge. Modern clad quarters have a visible copper-colored stripe along the edge due to their layered construction. Silver quarters, however, show a clean, solid silver edge with no visible layering. These little details can make a world of difference when it comes to spotting a truly valuable coin. Over the years, only a handful of these rare 1965 silver quarters have been discovered. Most were found accidentally, by keen-eyed collectors or lucky individuals who just happened to pay close attention to their change. But what makes one of these coins truly exceptional is not just the error, but the condition it's in. Coins that have been well preserved, with minimal wear and sharp details, are graded higher and are worth significantly more. And this brings us to the heart of today's video. The jaw-dropping value of the 1965 Washington quarter struck on a silver planchet. Not long ago, one of these extremely rare coins made headlines across the coin collecting community. It was certified, authenticated, and placed at auction. The bidding was intense, with collectors recognizing just how special and rare this coin truly was. In a moment that stunned many and inspired even more, the final price of the coin reached an unbelievable amount. That rare 1965 silver Washington quarter was sold for $155,000. Yes, you heard that right. What looked like a regular pocket change quarter ended up being a six-figure treasure. From just 25 cents to $155,000, this coin proves that hidden gems can be found in the most unexpected places. It's a reminder that value isn't always about what we see on the surface. Sometimes, the true worth is hidden in history, rarity, and the stories that coins like this carry. So, The next time you get change back at the store or empty your pockets at the end of the day, take a moment to look a little closer. You might just be holding a piece of American history and maybe even your ticket to an incredible discovery. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the fascinating world of rare coins, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next unbelievable story from the world of collectibles and currency. See you in the next one, and until then, keep your eyes open. Your next big find could be right in your pocket. Top 2. We're about to uncover the mystery of one of the most overlooked coins in American history, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. At first glance, it looks like just another everyday coin. But hidden among millions of these seemingly ordinary quarters lies a version so rare, so unique, that it has stunned even the most experienced collectors. This is not just about metal and mint marks. This is about a forgotten treasure that might be hiding in plain sight and could be worth a small fortune. The story begins during a transformative era for the U.S. Mint. In the mid-1960s, the United States faced a nationwide coin shortage. People were hoarding silver coins, anticipating that their metal content would be worth more than their face value. In response, the U.S. government took a drastic step. Starting in 1965, all dimes, quarters, and half dollars were no longer made from silver. Instead, they were produced using a copper-nickel clad composition, intended to prevent hoarding and make coin production more economical. The change was necessary, but it wasn't without its complications. The 1967 quarter was part of this new generation of clad coins. Unlike coins minted in earlier years, 1967 quarters had no mint mark due to the mint's decision to temporarily suspend mint marks between 1965 and 1967. This was done to discourage coin collecting during the shortage. With no mint marks and new metal composition, the 1967 quarter might appear dull to most collectors. But that's exactly where the mystery lies. In the vast sea of these newly minted quarters, a small number were produced under unique and unintended circumstances. Coins that defied the usual standards, escaped strict quality control, and went on to become legends. Some of these rare versions include quarters struck on silver planchets by mistake, coins with off-center strikes, double dies, and other unusual minting errors. And when those coins are found in pristine condition, they become priceless to collectors. Now, what makes the 1967 quarter so fascinating is that while millions were minted, very few have survived in perfect, uncirculated condition. Even fewer possess rare errors or anomalies that drastically increase their value. These are the coins that turn heads at auctions. These are the coins that spark bidding wars among collectors. These are the coins that become history. Imagine walking through your home, opening a dusty jar filled with coins, and spotting an old quarter. You think nothing of it at first. Maybe you toss it aside or consider spending it on a drink. But what if that one coin, overlooked for decades, was one of the rarest examples of a 1967 Washington quarter in existence? What if it had an error, a flaw, a unique quality that transformed its worth from pocket change to a collector's dream? It's not fantasy. It has happened. In fact, coin collectors and experts have confirmed that certain 1967 Washington quarters have fetched staggering prices due to their rarity, condition, and the unique nature of the errors they carry. Some of these coins were struck on the wrong planchets, giving them an unusual appearance and metal composition. Others displayed crisp, flawless detail preserved over half a century, making them nearly impossible to match in quality to the untrained eye. These coins are just change. But to the trained eye, or a lucky individual who knows what to look for, they are gold mines. So how do you know if your 1967 quarter is one of the rare few? There are a few key signs. First, weigh the coin. A standard clad quarter weighs around 5.67 grams. If your quarter weighs noticeably more or less, that could be the first clue that something is different. Look closely at the coin's edge. Does it show the copper core typical of clad coins, or does it appear silver all the way through? Use a magnifying glass to examine the details. Are there any doubling effects on the date or lettering? Is the coin struck off-center or with unusual textures? These subtle differences could mean the coin is one of the highly sought-after varieties. And if the coin appears nearly flawless, untouched by circulation, and free from scratches or wear, then you might be holding something extremely rare. The numismatic world thrives on rarity, condition, and history. And in recent years, collectors have been more eager than ever to acquire coins that stand out, especially from transitional years like 1967. It's the combination of a historical shift, production errors, and survival in mint state that makes certain coins incredibly valuable, which brings us to the highlight of this story. One such 1967 Washington quarter, an exceptional piece that defied all odds with its condition and uniqueness, was placed in a high-profile auction. As the bids rolled in, coin enthusiasts and collectors held their breath. This wasn't just a coin. It was a piece of American history, a relic from a turning point in U.S. coinage. When the final gavel struck, the price reached an astonishing figure. That rare 1967 Washington quarter dollar was sold for $145,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin with a face value of just 25 cents had become a six-figure collectible. It was a moment that reminded everyone in the coin collecting world and beyond that incredible treasures can come in the smallest, most unexpected packages. The next time you sort through your change, don't rush. Take a moment. Look closely, because that small, ordinary-looking quarter might just be the beginning of an extraordinary story. Your story. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden world of rare coins, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories that prove history and fortune often go hand in hand. Stay curious, keep looking, and who knows, the next great find might already be in your pocket. The P3. We're diving into the mysterious and fascinating story of the 1970 Washington quarter dollar. This is not just about a coin. It's about a hidden treasure, a piece of American history that, under the right circumstances, could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1970 Washington quarter seems like any other. It's round, silver in color, and has the familiar face of George Washington on the front. Millions of them were minted. To most people, it's just spare change, tossed into a drawer or used to feed a parking meter. But buried within the countless coins minted that year, there exists a version of the 1970 quarter that is far from ordinary. It's rare, it's mysterious, and it's valuable. Let's go back to the time this coin was made. The year was 1970, a decade that brought dramatic cultural shifts, political upheaval, and economic changes. In the world of coinage, the U.S. Mint was now firmly committed to its decision to move away from using silver in regular coin production. Since 1965, quarters were no longer made of silver, but rather a clad combination of copper and nickel. The Mint was churning out coins in huge numbers to meet the demands of the growing economy. But during this mass production, something strange happened. Something that no one noticed at first. Among the millions of regular quarters, a tiny number of 1,970 quarters were struck on coins that weren't meant to be used at all. These were coins mistakenly struck on leftover blanks from other coins, some even made from Canadian silver planchets or from older proof coins. Yes, you heard that right. Somehow, during the minting process, the dies used for the 1970 quarter ended up stamping images onto coins that already had something else on them. The result? A double-stamped, layered, or mismatched quarter that looked nothing like its peers. One of the most famous examples is the 1970 S quarter, a coin that was struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter. That means if you look closely, especially under magnification, you can actually see traces of the original 1941 design beneath the 1970 markings. This wasn't just a mint error. It was a once-in-a-lifetime fluke. And it turned an ordinary quarter into one of the most coveted pieces in the world of coin collecting. Now imagine holding something like that in your hand. To the casual observer, it might still look like a normal coin. But to those who know what to look for, the collectors, the experts, the treasure hunters, that quarter is a diamond in the rough. These errors don't just make the coin rare. They make it one of a kind. And when you combine rarity with historical curiosity and a good dose of mystery, you get something that collectors are willing to pay a premium for. How can you tell if your 1970 quarter is something special? First, check for the mint mark. The most valuable versions typically have the S mint mark, which means they were minted in San Francisco. Then, look at the surface of the coin. Do you see anything unusual beneath the main image? Any overlapping numbers or ghostly letters? Those could be signs that your quarter was stamped over an older coin. Also, check the edges and the weight. If the coin feels heavier or the edge lacks the usual copper stripe, it could be a clue that you're dealing with something other than a standard clad coin. These small differences might not mean much to most people, but in the world of numismatics, the study and collection of coins, these details are everything. Coin grading services can professionally examine and certify your coin. And once authenticated, these rare coins can command jaw-dropping prices at auction. Now here's where the story gets truly unbelievable. One such 1970 Washington quarter, the very coin that had been mistakenly struck over a 1941 Canadian quarter, was eventually discovered, authenticated, and placed on the auction block. Collectors immediately recognized its value, and the bidding war that followed was nothing short of astonishing. Everyone wanted to own this piece of minting history, this rare mistake that had turned into a prized treasure, and when the final bid came in, the world watched in amazement. That rare 1970 Washington quarter dollar was sold for $120,000. Yes, that's right. A single quarter. Just 25 cents in face value. But due to its unique error, its historical significance, and its rarity, it was worth more than many brand-new luxury cars. This coin wasn't just a collector's item, it was a legend. So the next time you receive change, or you come across an old coin in a forgotten drawer, take a closer look. You never know what stories lie beneath the surface. That dull, forgotten quarter could be the key to unlocking a fortune. You don't have to be a coin expert to find treasure. You just need to be curious, observant, and a little bit lucky. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the hidden world of rare coins. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more fascinating tales of coins, treasures, and valuable collectibles, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on the notification bell. There's a whole world of forgotten wealth waiting to be discovered, and it might be closer than you think. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and remember, even the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise.